We're on a mission to rid the world of bad video.
Bye-bye.
This is the DV Show.
Target in range.
Bad video sucks.
Hey, we're live on LinkedIn. We just received a special gift from the folks at StreamYard, which is allowing us to do this live stream today. And we think it's pretty cool. So we're going to test it out. And while we're testing it out, we're going to give you some awesome information on this live edition of the DV Show podcast. We're going to try to be here like every Tuesday at 10 a.m. So Tuesday at 10, Tuesday at 10, Tuesday at 10. Just remember that. And again, we're just going to testing out StreamYard here. Going to try to figure out what this is all about because we're so used to using OBS and much easier to use StreamYard. Behind the scenes, we were doing some practice runs and wow, StreamYard is incredibly cool. I am liking it. All right, so today we're going to talk about something very, 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 very boring as hell. Unless you are in the video production industry, if you edit video or don't edit video, this is going to be exciting for you. Okay, so if you're into video production and you're a video editor, the topic we're going to talk about is video editor salaries. I know this is boring for some, but hang with me here for a second because I was really shocked to find out how much video editors are making today. You would be surprised. Video editors are a great bunch of people. And not only are they a great bunch of people, but they work hard. They work really hard. I know during the day, many of them are sleeping. And at night, they are nocturnal creatures from, say, midnight to 4 a.m. They're cranking out videos. I mean, everything on YouTube, on social media channels, Instagram, TikTok, video editors are feeding these platforms videos that you can watch. So let's thank them for that. And again, I was kind of surprised to see the salaries that they are making. I couldn't believe it, to be honest with you. I just could not believe it. I'm going to share my screen here for 1 second. Let me see if I'm getting the right one. Yeah, so I'm a moderator in the Video Editor Forum on LinkedIn. I'm one of the three there, and we had a poll that just ended, and there's a little under 200,000, I'm going to say like 196,000 subscribers to the LinkedIn Video Editor group. Great bunch of people. Here it is right here. Check it out. And I asked what their salary was and got 1,605 votes on the platform. The poll closed yesterday, but I was pretty shocked to see that many in the U.S., there's only 24% that are making $100,000 a year or less or more. And then there's 31% making $30,000 up. So anywhere between $30,000 and $50,000 a year. 31% of video editors are making that amount of money. This was a pretty cool poll, and it said a lot. It not only shocked me, but I was pretty surprised. I was just kind of sad, to be honest. And in case you're joining us, we're talking about video editor salaries on this live edition of the DV Show podcast. We're on LinkedIn, YouTube, and we're on Twitter. I think, I'm not checking, but it's showing everything is live. So I think we're good to go. So we're talking about video editor salaries. Now, we did have an article. We did have an article on our sister website, fastergig.com. Now, if you're not familiar with fastergig.com, fastergig.com is where you can go to find a video editor job fast. And we did this article talking about video editor salaries, earnings across the globe in 2024. And we went all through the list from the United States to Brazil. And some of these salaries are absolutely phenomenal. And like I said, I mean, phenomenal in a way that I just can't believe how much video editors are making for a living. I mean, it's peanuts. So let me show you the screen here. So let's take a look at some of these salaries. For example, in the United States, a video editor salary in the US, the average salary uh, is $59,810. So let's round it off and say $60,000 a year. Now that's not too shabby. Okay, that's not shabby at all. And the entry level is about, let's say, $35,000 a year. Experience salary, you're looking at about $105,000 per year for a video editor in the US. And according to that poll that we saw recently, it does look like that's kind of on par, at least with the a little under 2,000 people that contributed to that poll. So the average salary is $60,000. So let's say you're coming out of college, you're coming out of school, and you're coming out of college and you want to be a video editor just going into the industry. $60,000. Think about it. That's what you are possibly going to make coming out of college. Now, as you ramp up your experience, you get a little bit more experience, you are going to be making more money. So let's go back to this for a second and take a look at other salaries on this list. Let's take a look at, let's say, India. So in India, the average salary for a video editor is, I believe that's ruples. I think it's India. India is ruples, 500,000 per year. And that's a good chunk of change. Well, actually, it's not, because if you compare that to the US, 500,000, I think it's close to maybe $3,000, $5,000 US. So that's a yearly salary of a video editor in India. So let's go down to China. 70,000 in China. I'm not quite sure what the conversion is for the US, but that is the Chinese salary for a video editor. In Japan, it's a little higher. And in Brazil is $45,000 per year, which is not much. I mean, these salaries are kind of low, to be honest. I mean, I'm kind of shocked to see these so low. So let's go back to this article. Let's go back to the poll for a second. Let's go to the poll and take a look at the poll again on LinkedIn, which I thank every single one of you for reacting to, because it was pretty incredible. My eyes were open to kind of see the salary range as a video editor, and $100,000 and up a year in the US is 24%, and between $30,000 and $50,000 is the 31%, 25%, which is okay. Now, some of the comments down here, we got a lot of comments, 40 of them to be exact. It looks like Hamza Salim does not make anything. $10,000, unfortunately, for Utku. Rebecca is starting at $500 a day, which is not too bad. I mean, that's not too shabby. In some years, Mark here, he makes a loss. It's time to take a long break from all the nonsense, and they make us edit for that money. Yes, Mark, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. That is not a lot of money for the amount of work that you do. I mean, seriously, again, $100,000 a year was 24% of the respondents, and $30,000 a year was 31% of the respondents. Between 30 and 50,000 was the range. And it's kind of like, wow, video editor salaries. These guys and women do a lot of work for such a low amount of pay? So let's take a look at some of these other comments because again, this poll was just eye-opening to me. I guess Mario is asking where people are working, if you're making TikToks or MCU movies, and how many jobs can you take on? Working editors who typically juggle 2 or even 3 TV shows at once. I imagine people doing online content are also ridiculously busy, and these numbers are kind of misleading and not very informative. Well, that's fair. I mean, we did take this poll. AI did give this to us. Um, I guess he was talking about the article that we showed you earlier, and not necessarily the poll. But video editors in general do not make a lot of money. They do not make a lot of money. All right, so let's take a look at some more comments here on the poll. And as a freelancer, I always struggled to hit decent revenue. I had to learn digital marketing skills and use my video experience as the backbone of all campaigns. And that substantially increased my value in the market. But high levels of revenue came from applying my skills in the corporate environment by landing internal full-time positions. Let's read more on that. Freelancing is a blast, but going full-time with a salary is one of the only ways to decent and predictable income, in my opinion. Now, that's super interesting because I know freelancing is a hard thing to do, especially in the video editing world. You come up with a very good idea there, Bryce, about freelancing. So let's get into that. I want to talk about freelancing and if you can actually not make as much as you would a corporate video editor. But I don't know. Do you like to be in that corporate environment and edit video? I'm not sure. Some people just don't like to do that. Freelancing is better. There's another post that actually I want to show you here in a second. But let me. All right. So that's a little bit of shop. So let's go through this. Talk about some of these comments that they made on this poll. And in case you're joining us, we are talking about video editor salaries. We ran a poll on LinkedIn, had about 2,000 respondents, and I am shocked at the video editor's salary. I'm totally shocked, and how little they make for the amount of work that they do. I guess that's all the comments. Actually, let's load more comments here. I think it's really interesting, some of these video editor salaries. Yeah, Catherine says she feels like a loser, and I kind of went back and said, "Don't feel like a loser. That's okay." $28, $2,000 editor's salaries in LA. So Jason Honeycutt says editor's salaries in LA would be around $200,000, but they've absolutely been in free fall. Most jobs are now $100,000 a year max. Even the union only guarantees $55 an hour for trailer editors. And I still remember when I was at CBS back in 2002, we got our first Predator, made $275,000 back then. Now, 20 years later, you see Predator job listings at $60,000 to $80,000. It's a horrible time to be just an editor. Now, Jason, you come up with a very, very, very good point and something that I want to drive home here and talk about as far as video editor salaries go. We are talking about the salaries of video editors. If you're joining us, and I'm like, wow, they don't make a lot, and salaries have gone down. And Jason Honeycutt, who has just responded to the poll, he's right. These predators, I do want to point out, let's say what he says here on the bottom: horrible time to be just an editor. It's a horrible time to be just an editor. All right, so let's talk about that for a second. As a video editor, yeah, you are going to get paid this much just to edit video. But what would happen if you were to add on to your services, let's say distribution services, Google Ads services? So let's say you create and edit a video for a client that is an ad that's going to go up on Facebook. Why not provide the services the advertising services, an agency type of advertising services to that client as well. So not only do you edit the video, but now you're responsible for distribution, whether it be on within an ad platform or on YouTube, or have somewhat of a subscription kind of model to your business, and you'll be making more. So just Jason, you actually come up with a really, really, really good point. I actually love it when what you say down here. It's horrible time to be just an editor. We're now required to be more than just an editor. We're required to be a marketer now. That's what it's all about. We're required basically to be in marketing. And Jason comes up with a really, really, really great point there on how just being an editor is not going to get you, you're not going to be making a lot of money off of that. All right, let's look at some more comments from some of our visitors on LinkedIn to this poll. And in case you're just joining us again, we are talking about video editors' salaries. Xavier makes less than $10,000 annual, and apparently he's in Ecuador. He doesn't like it. I work as a freelancer for an American client, and it comes out to about $12,000 per year, which isn't a lot of money. And it depends. I mean, we didn't really get into detail on this poll because I don't know what you're editing, or if it's part-time, or if it's a side gig, if you have a full-time job. I have no idea. So $12,000, if you're solely editing and that's your full-time job, that's not a lot. But if it's a side gig, I don't know. That would be great. Let's see. Thomas Sanchez says way less than $30,000. Not even enlisted. That's how little you make. That's good. I find the numbers listed for freelance video editors in the U.S. and experienced freelance in Australia to be fair, a bit lower. And he understands an average range in the article, but 30,000 to say 50,000, you're looking at about 31 to 25%, which is really, really low for video editor salaries. You guys do a lot of work. And as Jason said earlier, I mean, the key takeaway here is not just to become an editor. You have to be pretty much a person who's wearing many hats. And that seems like the only way to really do it and how to make a larger salary is to wear many hats. All right. I really like StreamYard. It's been easy to use. I like the music in the background. I like how I can switch over. We are testing StreamYard today, as well as going over some really cool stuff as far as video editor salaries. And check us out at thedbshow.com. I'll put a link up here in a second. Let me see where that is. I put our website. Check us out at thedbshow.com. We do a podcast every single week, answering your questions related to digital video. We do awesome topics like this. We have workshops and some really cool stuff. But I'm actually going to go on our website right now so I can show you the page, so I can pull it up. Go ahead and visit us on thedbshow.com. Lots of good stuff going on there. Many people don't know about us because we've been around for so damn long. And this is basically the DV Show, the DV Show's website. What you want to click on is subscribe. And not only can you listen to our podcasts on our website, but getting a little slow here. Maybe the internet went down. There we go. Subscribe to our newsletter at thedbshow.com. It starts with business owners looking to increase their impact, and you as a video professional. All comes together in our newsletter. Sign up. There's some good stuff. Live workshop announcements, podcasts, latest news and events, We don't spam you, and so much more. We'll be doing this for 19 years coming this March, and we're doing a good job of it, I think. So join us at thedvshow.com for more information. Oh, and of course, what I would love for you to do is find us on LinkedIn and all the social media channels. And I'm actually using StreamYard here, so I'm a little distracted because I'm not used to this. But I'm going to try an overlay of our social media channels. And it's probably going to go over my screen. But that's where you could find me on all the social media channels on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. LinkedIn is where I hang out. So if you want to find me, go there. In the meantime, we'll talk to you next week, Tuesday at 10 a.m. Talk then.
Video production just got easier. The DV Show.